Hello, hello. Here we
Hi.
are. It's good to see everyone. Hi, Lalit.
Hi.
Lovely.
Hi,
Oh,
everyone.
everyone shows up just like, oh, Martha Bean's here. I got notified that you're on live, Lalit. I don't know why I always put in
Oh,
the notification on YouTube.
okay,
I
that's
don't know.
good.
Yeah.
I'm always doubting, so
No, you're here. All right.
that's
My phone told me.
okay.
Hello, everyone. I've got Martha Bean, Craig. Thank you for coming. McGrill, pleasure. We got our members only this week. Joyful Journey, love it. Annie Hamlet, nice to see you, dear. This is
Hi,
great.
Annie. Hi,
Char-
Wonder Woman. Charlie. Craig.
Charlie, yay.
Will. SR.
SR,
Hi, Suzanne.
so nice to see you. So nice to see you. So, how was your week, Lalit?
Hot. It's hot here. It's been 120 every day. Ooh.
Uh, well, you don't look it. I'd be on my back.
Melting. Melting.
I'd be having the camera above, and you see my floor as a background. But yeah, we've been very moderate, and mild here. So I hate to brag. I guess I'm just lucky. So, how about everyone else? How was your week? This is the week that was going to be a bombshell this and a
Oh,
bombshell that.
yeah.
And hello, I'm so happy you're here. He, uh, Hinamarama, 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 Marama. I love that name. I'm going to get it right someday. I had an exciting week, but I always have really good weeks. Hello, Don. Uh, Don Pez. I always say it wrong because I added a flair to it. Dawn of Mediumship. I'm just going to keep it that way. Denise, thanks for coming. So we had, okay, McGrill. See, McGrill, I just love you. Thank you so much. There is a question for Lalit, it looks like, and she wrote it all in capital letters.
Yes,
Thank you.
I got it all set up here just to show you. We'll do that. We
Yay,
started
women.
today, we're going to start with today, and it's and the show you how it's going to transition into Monday. That's exactly
Okay.
what we're going to do.
So we might as well, Marby, it's good to see you. Cynthia, you found time from packing and moving. You're exhausted, I'm sure. So we'll go ahead since we've got a question. I just want to remind everyone, this is for entertainment purposes only, because I'm going to rag on some pretty important people here. Some old white guys. Oh, thank you, Joyful. Oh, you guys are so nice with the capital letter. Um, also, if you're going to have a question, we take them at random, unless you're a member, and then you go right to the top, moderator, right to the top. And if you donate, right to the top. But first of all, we have Lalit, and then and then I'm going to check for messages. Please write them in capital letters for your questions, so then I can star them and get them ready for Lalit after she's on. So you're on now, Lalit.
Okay. Well, everybody, it's been a little rough, hasn't it? We mentioned last week to give you a forewarning that the three major planets. This is today's situation. This is today's chart. Down at the bottom, you see Saturn and Neptune circled in green. They went retrograde in Pisces, and also Pluto over here, I'm going to ping on it, is also retrograde. This is showing in the collective and kind of within ourselves some power struggle. And in the collective, we have judiciary with Saturn, and Neptune is showing your intuition and your emotions. So emotions can tend with Pluto and Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, and all retrograde can be very heavy and dense. And because our emotions are really our psychic guides to the way our vibrations are working. You have to really watch your emotions carefully and do whatever it takes to bring your emotions into a happier place. So one go-to, and this is such a good practice for me, I do this all day long, and it's so helpful to just express gratitude for small things that happen to you, and then enjoy beautiful nature around you. Bless Mother Earth and all the beauty and things that Mother Earth can share with us, and just be grateful, so that in your heart, you feel it in your heart, and joy builds inside of you. Play with your pets, walk in nature, do breathing exercises, meditation. You need to be calm with no feelings of fear, because we know everything is working out perfectly. We have no fear. We don't let anger of other people come into our sphere. We put a protection around us if we feel people around us that are aggressive or angry. And there's a lot of that going on in the world with the fabulous Mars and Saturn. Here it is. This is today's situation. Not only do we have Neptune, Saturn, and Pluto all retrograde, but the big one is the Mars and Mars and Uranus conjunction in Taurus, and it's getting closer. It's 2 degrees separation right now today, which is very, very close. Mercury is square and moving into a tight square, which is going to be very tight on the day of the convention. The moon is still in Libra, but by convention day, it will move over to complete the T-square. So we will have the moon in Scorpio. So this is the Monday. The Monday chart will change our energy, in that the moon is going to go from Libra, where we're feeling a little more harmony and balance, into Scorpio, and emotions are going to be more intense on Monday. So it's explosive. Add to the fact that this is the Monday chart for the convention, beginning for the opening day. Mars and Uranus at the top are conjunct with the star Algol. That is the most malefic fixed star. It is a very explosive indication, with the moon opposite in Scorpio, intense passion, a lot of arguing, explosive energy, combative things. Mercury is square, all of it. The tensions are going to be very high, and it's a little bit scary for there could be demonstrations or things like that. And also, these indications can work on the collective in weird ways, like power grid failures, or weather events and things of that nature that are difficult to deal with. So you need to be geared up for it, to not let anything ruffle your feathers. You need to be centered. You need to be understanding that the things that are unfolding are all part of the plan, and things are working out, and you need to control your emotions to be positive, so that you have feelings of joy and happiness, because our earth and our society is evolving, and these are the final death throes of the last phase before we enter the full Aquarius phase, when Pluto goes direct again. And in November, we're going to find it moves back into Aquarius, and things will start to evolve in the direction that we can see positivity. So in the meantime, gratitude. Count your blessings, forgive others, have a few love, compassion, acts of kindness, and remember, Jesus is saying, forgive them, for they know not what they do. A lot of people have been misinformed, and they really don't know so we can't judge other people. So it's all, any change that we bring to the world has to come from our own heart center. So we have to bring peace and love into the world. So avoid anything. You might find unpleasant things, like people that are involved in road rage or things like this, just stay away from any confrontations. Be prepared to keep cool and calm. Do things like exercising to get your endorphins up. Take some chamomile so you can sleep at night. And remember the Chinese proverb which says, may we live in interesting times. Aren't we so grateful now? I think there's a big surprise coming for Trump. And it's coming, I think, soon. And I'm going to ask Debra at the end if she would do a reading, because I have a question that I think is so critical to our future. And I'd like to ask Debra for clarification on this one. Now, I'd like to point out a couple of things in the news that are very positive, that are very good things that have been really glossed over by the media. There's not much talk about it now, but I think that these things will all come out. So there are some very big items. I don't know if you knew that Rupert Murdoch was deposed in there's a big trial, a civil trial for suing Fox News for defamation by the Smartmatic company. Smartmatic company, remember, voting machines. So Fox defamed them for months and months and months and months. And recently, a man whose last name is Hoffman, who also funded the legal expenses of E. Jean Carroll. He's a very wealthy billionaire who is giving to these important causes that we're all working toward. This man Hoffman is giving money to Smartmatic, which is a very small company. And he's giving money for their legal expenses so they can get really good legal advice. And the thing about it is that Fox News had had better luck against what was that other case that they had? Oh, I can't think of it. One that they lost $1 billion to. The other voting machine company, they got $1 billion judgment. Now, Fox News had one thing going for them in that case, which was that it was a big company and it was newsworthy. But Smartmatic is different because they only had machines in one tiny little county in America, and it wasn't anywhere critical like Arizona or Nevada, not in a swing state. So there were no machines in that election, yet Fox defamed them on and on and on, saying that they were doing the ridiculous things. Now, this could be just the bring down of Fox News, because they stand to lose another $1 billion or $2 billion in this case, and it's a very big case. So they've got to stop their coverage. It'll change the way they're doing their coverage, I think. And the other thing is happening. Clarence Thomas is going to be up for big trouble with the IRS because he had a loan forgiven for when he got the RV from Leo, and it cost like $372,000 loan, and that loan was forgiven by law at the IRS. That has to be declared as income. He also got $4 million worth of gifts that were needing to be declared. And now in the Senate, they've put him up for criminal investigation. They've signed a letter to the Justice Department to begin that investigation. And this is a much bigger story all around the world. The right-wing fascists are losing in all the countries where they had big elections, losing. So fascism and the right-wing tyrannical thing that's been kind of springing up all around the world is dying down. The big elections, they had huge losses. Now, bringing us to the debacle of the debate, I just want to say that there is something very, if you look at it from this perspective, that little incident, which is going to be so small, in a little bit of time passes, it's going to just vanish. It won't be important anymore. But for now, the Republicans it's given them a false sense of empowerment and security. So they've come out with things that they would normally want to keep hidden, like this Project 2025 and all of the right-wing things that they're trying to do away with our Constitution and our personal rights, and not just against women, but against all kinds of minorities and the immigrants, and deporting people, and their whole agenda that's coming out is so grotesque that nobody in the center Republicans do not go for those things. And they have a group of people on this committee: John Eastman, Stephen Miller, the Nazi guy, that idiot McEntee, who was running the HR department for Trump. These are people who have no knowledge. They don't know how to run government, and they are so off the mark. The Supreme Court doing things that are unconstitutional. These things are not going to stand. They are not going to make any progress, and their inroads in the Supreme Court has dug its own grave by showing that immunity thing that was against the Constitution. I mean, that declared our Constitution unconstitutional. So now the Senate is coming up with laws to override that will do away with that immunity problem. But meanwhile, Trump feels also empowered, and he's coming out so aggressive, showing the worst of the worst: mean-spirited, whining victim, revenge, bullying, violence. These are things that is going to make Biden's stuttering or lack of communication nothing, because Biden is coming out here as the underdog and a lovable figure, and people are expressing love for him. And this has to be seen as a referendum, not against Biden, but a referendum of Trump. And now the New York Times came out with a 5,000-page statement saying why Trump is unfit for office. And people are the news media and etc. They're starting to come around. You're going to see a big shift from these days forward of people coming together, uniting against Trump. That's the ticket, and all the naysayers that many people on the Hill are worried selfishly about their own little careers and their own getting elected, and they have to focus on the big picture of our democracy and not on their personal small ambitions. And people like George Clooney, etc. These are ego things that are going to fall by the wayside when you look at the big picture. Now, Biden came out with a couple of wonderful statements that I think that we should focus on. He said he wants to finish the job. He is not going to be withdrawing unless he sees data that shows that he cannot win. So all of this is going to fall into place in the near future. After this Mars-Uranus thing, there's going to be some big shocking thing against Trump that's going to turn everything around. On a humorous note, I really loved that little quote that Joe gave, a little zinger during his press conference. He said, well, what is Trump doing? He said he's riding around in a golf cart, filling out his scorecard before he's even played the hole, which was a good line because he's so known for being cheating at in everything. Anyway, so another quote Biden brought up: control guns, not girls. So the fact of women's movement, of the abortion issue, and the government interfering in women's rights is never going to pass this election. Everybody is going to be aware of what is at stake. Our freedoms are at stake. And I wanted to mention that on after that conference, there was a panel of ladies from Wisconsin. They interviewed them all, and all of them agreed after the news conference. They had complete change of opinion about Biden, and they felt he's the man and he's going to win. They're all going to be voting for him after seeing that. And we do have the Harris ticket is really filled. Anyway, on Tuesday, I got a little download, a message that I was told by my guides. I had to say this little quote to you, to this group of wonderful light bearers, so that you will be carrying the torch out into the out to fight the good fight. And the quote was, and it just came to me, and I wasn't sure who said it. I heard this quote, these are the times that try men's souls. Now, I had heard the quote, but I didn't know who said it. And I don't like to give a quote if I can't say who said it. So I'm thinking, I have to, before I tell it to people in this group, I need to find out. So if you can guess, think if you can guess who said that and when did they say it. That's another interesting thing because it's such a timely thing. So I'm going to read a little bit. I'm going to read the rest of this quote because this is a whole message for us today to keep this in our mind. And this is the quote that I have it on the screen. It's a little small. I'm sorry. But if you could get a screenshot so that you can print it out for yourself later. These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country. He's saying, sunshine soldier he's saying, we have another saying that's equivalent to this, a fair weather friend, your friend only when things are going smooth and easy. Well, things are not smooth and easy now. So if you're a sunshine patriot, only in the good times, you will shrink from this crisis because these are really important hard times and so going on with the quote, you can't shrink from service of the country. But he that stands by it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman. Tyranny, that's what we're fighting here. My interjection. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered. Yet we have this consolation with us that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. Just a little bit more. The more glorious the triumph. What we obtain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. It is dearness only that gives everything its value. Heaven knows how you put a proper price upon its goods. It would be strange indeed if so celestial an article as freedom should not be in high regard. So that's the end of our little sermon for the day. But the quote, these are the times that try men's souls, and all of that followed, is from, did anybody guess? It's from December 23rd is the date it came out. Thomas Paine. Exactly, Mary. Thomas Paine. Good for you. Thomas Paine, I had to look it up because I was shocked to see it was written December of 1776. And he's telling us not to be sunshine soldiers. We got to get out and fight now, the good fight. It was Thomas Paine, one of the founding fathers. And it's a really important statement. And I think it's something like, remember JFK had an inspirational statement. He said, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. And so when you start to falter and you have a little fear, I'd like to just, or darkness or something, there are a couple of things, a couple of inspirational statements to keep you on track. And one, you've heard this, I think, but keep it in mind, because we are going to avoid this by being not sunshine soldiers, but fighting. Every person needs to do what they can, and mainly in your vibration and in all your encounters with people. do your little parts. They spread ripples out. So there's this statement that says, first they came for the Jews, but I wasn't a Jew, so I wasn't worried. Then they came for the communists, but I wasn't a communist, so I wasn't worried. Then they came for the Catholics, but I wasn't a Catholic, so I wasn't worried. And then they came for me. So keep that in mind and add that to St. Francis' famous prayer, because this will really give you a lot of the strength and the good advice to know what to do. The prayer of St. Francis, the peace prayer. And I'm just paraphrasing it because I didn't look up the exact words, but it's something I think about all the time. God, give me the courage to change what can be changed. God, give me the patience to accept that which I cannot change. God, grant me the wisdom to know the difference. So we get out there and do what we can, but in our heart, we do not carry fear or anger or hatred, but we have compassion, love, and remembering that we have been selected, as Kirshner said, we have been appointed as the jury, and we are the jury by voting. And I believe that there's going to be a big shocker for Trump, in addition to all these things that we know, like the abortion issue, women's rights, the things with the Supreme Court and immunity and losing rights, and all of the revenge and the whole agenda that they have that's so negative. All of that, I think there's going to be something much worse, because this Mars-Uranus event is kind of, for Trump, I think it's going to be a shocking one. So I feel, and I want to ask, this is my question for Debra. There's been, in Florida, the governor of Florida had to release the Epstein documents. And there were some depositions given to the court in there that regarded Trump. And they were so horrific. I'm not going to go into any details, but I'll suffice it to say there was one young 14-year-old girl who...
I'm having trouble hearing you, Lalit.
Can't hear. Is
Yeah.
that better?
That's better. So there was, you're not going to go into all of it, but what was the rest?
Okay. In this deposition that came out in the Trump Epstein documents that were just released, there was a young girl's statement to the court about how she had been assaulted by Donald Trump. She was 14 years old, and the graphic details are so horrific. You'll hear about this story because it is so shocking. And there are many details in these Epstein papers about Donald Trump that are really disgusting, and nobody in their right mind will vote for him after they see these documents. So I want to ask Debra if she could ask two questions. One, will there be a shocking story that comes out that will change the outcome of the election? And will this be related? And if that's a yes, because I think there's something very shocking coming out. If it's a yes, will it be related to these Epstein documents?
So I got a no. So the first question is there going to be something shocking? And normally, and
okay, I said,
what?
Maybe we all knew it, so it isn't shocking. Could it be that?
We're shocking. We don't shock anymore.
That's true.
We don't shock anymore, and the religious.
You're so right to point that out. It's so important how you phrase the question.
Do you want to rephrase it?
Yeah. Will some very offensive information come out of the Epstein documents that will affect people's opinion of Donald Trump?
So the answer is yes, but it's interesting because my card, the cards will tell you why it's yes or why it's no. So it is yes. And I do have the Ace of Cups reversed, which means leaving, the newness is worn off, basically. But what's interesting is the Hanged Man is the first one out, and it's reversed, which means this tunnel vision. Tunnel vision. They're going to try and, what do you call it? Swing or then spin it in a way that it's just something Biden put together. I know that the people who can't hear it won't hear it, and the people who hear it and we're never going to talk, and understand it, aren't going to vote for Trump. So I think it's a ripple. I do believe there's going to be some people who completely say, that's it. Not, I can't take anymore. But because there's so many who has already reached that portion, that level, that they're not listening to a whole lot. Yeah, I was going to add something else, but I don't think it's necessary. So I believe they will make a shocking, I could read on this, in our history and short history. Like once things calm down and he's, not bothering us anymore or not in the news anymore, I think a lot of that will come out and be broadcasted. But the media is this is the thing about the media, if you don't mind me saying, is that Fox thrived because Trump was sensational, good news, fun news, and they can spin it any way they want. Well, now all the media's profited off of Trump's frenzy, creating frenzy. And it's almost like, now you guys tell me how this lands. It's almost like, to me, like MSNBC has turned totally against Biden. And I think it's for ratings. I think they're, having a hard time there because everybody is talking about this. But I started talking about something and I forgot that was your question. That was my answer, that it will shock some people and it will change a few people's minds. But when I look at the lineup, there's some this is how you can read yes, no's. Also, there's some low numbers. I had the ace, I had the 3, I had I had those low numbers. And so it's not going to be the splash. If I had like tower, right? If I had devil, if I had all those things, and then also 8 of wands, which is really fast moving energy, then I can see, there's going to be something disruptive, but I don't have that.
Would you say that might correspond to like a 1, 2, 3% of people?
Oh, that's hard for me. That's something for Alan Lichtman to answer. But I don't think it's going to be. I think everyone's decided by now. I know it's weird, and your question is, does this move people who are already decided to vote for Trump, move them to the other side? And I believe there's enough spin on the information. And they're distracting everyone by saying, looky here, we've got an old president, right? So I don't think it's going to hit the way it should. I mean,
which is really ironical because in the Hillary contest, they were having pedophiles in a pizza parlor, and
they were way into it.
And here is exactly what they were accusing Hillary of being done by Trump.
Yep.
And that is pretty ironical.
Yeah, it really is. The thing is that everything's really quite loud and people are wanting to calm down. Now, I haven't watched the news very much, and I turn off all the other people I would listen to that would get on the bandwagon against. I wrote something on in my community. I can share with you if you don't mind. This is how I really feel. Republicans wanted to take my vote away from Biden in 2020. Now Democrats want to take my vote away from Biden in 2024. We won't lose because of the age of a man. We lose because we have a party that fractures at the first sign of disappointment. Democrats, hands off my president. You just want to get in the media cycle. And then I wrote, stop it. So I'm sure they're all listening to me. But I do believe it'll calm down pretty soon. But I don't know about everyone else, but I
I totally agree with you. We need to be united against Trump.
And in an absolute way.
Absolutely.
I listened to, and I think I posted on my community page, there was a Never Trumper, which was a Trump voter that isn't going to turn against him. And he said, the Democrats can run a tomato soup can for president and against Trump. And it's the tomato soup can will win. So I'm confident that there's, it's going to be, I also have, and I will put it in the show notes. There's a lady that's really magnificent. Her name is she's a doctor, Tracy A. Pearson. Has anyone heard of this? Her channel is at Tracy, capital TATRACY, and then a capital E explains, EXPLAINS. I love what she does. She's like, what I want to say, she says it so much better because it's an absolute. And so I'm going to listen to her stuff and be that voice, learn how to be that voice of absolute, because it's so against me. I always, see both sides. I can really see this, or I can understand that. I am not playing the two. But I will put that her link to some really good shows. You can try it on. She does curse, but she does it in a really good way. Like Keith Olbermann curses, and I really feel it, and I feel satisfied. And she does the same. But I've tuned him out too, because he was on the Get Rid of Biden dance. But that's my president. That is my president. And as steadfast as Trump devotees are, I'm right there with them with the other side. I'm right there with them. So I will have some comments here.
We can't be sunshine soldiers, as Thomas Paine said. We can't quit fighting when there's a little tiny drop of rain in the air. We can't give up the fight.
That's right. Tell them what you told me beforehand. Cynthia, you're absolutely right. If he gets in, we'll be an enslaved dictator, and then there'll be no more votes. And they'll take all of our votes. But you said something before we came on. God, what was it? I thought it was a good declaration of truth. It'll come to me. So we've got. So, I'm going to get, so if you're still MAGA at this point, there's no help for you. I think it is a cult, and I like some of the information I'm reading from that perspective. I think it's healing to understand that they know not what they do. Like
yeah, Jesus, that's what Jesus said. Forgive them, they know not what they do.
So now I have trouble forgiving, but that's just part of who I am. That's my lesson.
But we have to go in the spirit of forging our new
society,
so which is going to be helpful to everyone. Everyone is going to be enriched in their lives in all ways. Education, healthcare, housing, everything is going to be so much improved.
Right. But that's a whole paragraph of information
Yeah.
that we need to remember to say to ourselves the next time we have to forgive this asshole for what he's doing and saying, or the cults or something like that. It's hard. So I honor that part of me. It's not like I want to beat it out of myself or kumbaya, but I am mindful of my own tendency to become quite angry. And, but here is what I do instead of the whole paragraph of what will happen if we go to be better at forgiving. I say this: I believe in the afterlife. I wouldn't want their life review. I would not want their life review when they realize how close they came to following this awful man. I'd call him a something else, but it'd be a putting down that something else. So ratings are over. I got to catch up with the ratings are overrated. Who did they ask? Not me. Yeah, I understand. Whoops. There's another one. Excuse me.
I got a call from a survey company. And what was so interesting, we always wonder, who is it that's saying all of it? Who are the people that say they're voting for Trump? Well, that was really interesting in something that was very surprising to me. The questions started out normal, like you would expect a survey to ask, but then they changed. And it reminded me of the questions reminded me of this shtick that Jimmy Kimmel does out on the street. Have you seen him? He sends the news person with the microphone to talk to people, and
Yeah.
they ask him a crazy question like, "Did you hear about Kamala Harris? A helicopter crashed and she died. And how do you feel? And how do you feel about that?" And they go, "Oh, it's terrible. I really liked
Oh my
her, and I think
God.
and the
It's
people
so
will all go.
embarrassing.
They'll all follow the question,
Right.
and instead of thinking, I don't know anything, instead of saying, I didn't hear that and I don't know about that and where did you get that information, instead of saying that, they run with it.
Yeah.
So they started asking me questions like that. We're like, even if 17 million people have crossed the border illegally now, and they're all being housed at high level hotels at the expense of the government, would you still vote for Joe Biden? And even if and even if the economy is, jobs are being lost and the inflation is that no one can afford houses, would you still vote for Joe Biden? These were the questions. And I said, I said, that's a lie in that question. And
Yeah.
how do you expect me? I can't answer a question like that. That's a lie. That's
Yeah.
misinformation. And I said, there aren't 17 million people that cross the border illegally, and Trump put this the one that nixed the border deal that the House
Oh
and the
yeah.
Senate were going to vote for. He said he wanted to have arguments at the trouble at the border because it would be good for him as a political issue. And so what you're saying is a lie, and I can't answer that yes or no because it's a lie. So I will say yes, I am going to vote for Biden absolutely enthusiastically. And then they would ask me questions that were lies. All of them were
Yeah.
lies. And I
Yeah.
said to the lady, you must tell I actually said things that were very funny during this
You're
interview.
schooling her.
Oh, and I gave the real facts, but it was kind of funny. And I said, you're going to have to tell the people who wrote this survey that you can't ask questions full of lies and expect to get an answer that makes any sense. And
You
these
know what I just
questions
thought
are
of?
misleading.
That's why we have, oh, wait, duh, connected the dots. You probably already did it anyway. That is why we have the news the way it is,
Yeah.
because they take these, and a survey was,
The
and
survey
that
was
was,
full of lies. They were the worst lies. They were the kind of lies that Trump was saying in his speech at the
mhm,
debate, that I did this and I did that. It was
yeah,
like, it was Trump's lies in the form of a survey. Would you vote for Trump Biden even if this XYZ have happened and they haven't? You know,
Yeah.
it was totally skewed. And I thought, well, now I understand why the surveys are coming out like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm. It's right. See, that's the thing. I don't know if people are curiosity driven. And as it's grown, the tales, just like what Jimmy Kimmel did, the tales grow and the stories grow. And people are, I wonder why we're not more critical thinkers. Is it because we haven't supported the higher education? I mean, there's always a thread of what we could have done better, because I know college teaches people how to, uh, you know, think things through. But I know it is hard to imagine, and if you're still watching the amount of news that you did before this Biden thing, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be flat on your back. You're going to have the shadow side of all of what Lalit was saying. Um, and I highly recommend you think better and parent yourself in the coming days till this all works out.
The thing about the survey is interesting it ties in with the fact that Trump had given lots of money to surveys to skew them. And this could be an example of that, but he had contributed millions of dollars because he felt that the surveys, he's all about his image. So if you know how in COVID he said, oh, we can't test because then the numbers go up.
Yeah. He says he's so
For him, if people answer the survey and that's skewed, then that makes him look good. And so he's happy. And I think that he's paid a lot of money to have people go and ask these really misleading questions.
Yeah, yeah.
Full of
Cynthia says
lies.
Cynthia says this. Now, Cynthia, I'm going to challenge you on this one. Cynthia says, my news is the YouTube people that see what I see. I'm losing track of those people. The minute it goes into wishy-washy or literally throwing everybody up, shooting ourselves in the foot, then I just switch it off. So there's so many people. I was listening to Andre and another astrologer. Well, I shouldn't say this maybe, but well, it's just who I am. So he had another astrologer on and they were doing the astrology, and I always enjoy listening. Not that I understand it, but all of a sudden this guest started talking about Biden
That's when I
being
turned
out of.
it off.
You turned it off too?
Yeah,
No, I don't know if people
I
track,
turned
but
it off. I went,
you can
wow, this
tell
is
when
a
people
bunch
shut it
of,
off. It's ridiculous
that
because
was ridiculous.
Andre
Yeah.
would say, "Yeah, I agree," and all this stuff, but go on Linda G and say he's going to be toast. So I understand being a host, you want to mirror that and everything, but I rely on Andre to help my equilibrium, and I rely on you, just the stars. And but I'm not afraid of something going wrong anymore. I am not afraid anymore. So something goes wrong, I don't care what goes sideways. I am not afraid anymore. New Democrat.
No sunshine soldiers here.
Not here in this channel.
No.
So she says Andre is an astrology, not like Lalit. Astrologers do have their own sense of. She says astrologies are different. You know that. I didn't know that, but I know there's different methods and stuff. But I don't know. I got to tell you, I can't wait for people to hear that. That one lady I'm going to recommend, that Tracy Explains. You're just going to dig her so much. I just have her on a loop sometimes. Okay, Cynthia says, I don't fear anything, not even Trump. Bravo, girl. And you're proving that. Cynthia, you're proving that by packing and moving.
Yes, Cynthia. Fearless, fearless. And this is the whole message I wanted to say today. No fear in your heart.
Right.
Everything is working out. We are fighting the good fight. Things are all moving according to our awakening. And it's a force of nature that cannot be denied. Like when Pluto went into Aquarius the last time, the whole world changed their economic systems, their political systems. Kings were deposed, beheaded,
Oh, I
revolution,
like that part. Let's bring that.
you know, and it changed because it's a force of nature, and we are undergoing at a higher evolution that same spiral, and we are having an awakening. We are in the last throes of resistance to that awakening, and some people are not going to get on the right train. They'll take the wrong train and they won't be able to join us.
Right.
They diverge enough.
Yeah. And it's just like there's going to be changes I don't like because heaven forbid everything stays the same. But I know what you're saying is great. Now, we've got a question here from Cynthia again. She's got the best questions. I would like to know when Alito and Clarence Thomas will be gone before the election. I
No,
pray. So
I think so.
this is the cool part. Now I haven't gone in depth. I couldn't find my notes on Alito, but let me tell you about Clarence. OMG. So just like Trump, he had a 9 personal year for last year. You cannot drag your dirty laundry into a new 9-year cycle without consequences, because then it's almost like the gum you step in and don't bother carving off. If you bring it in, it just gets stickier and messier and stickier and messier, and that's what we're seeing. It's like, get your popcorn because of that. But he will resist everything. Will he step down? No. He's a 33 master number who feels it's the shadow side of 33. I work with a lot of 33s that are just brilliant. Ness is one of them. She's not here tonight, I don't think, but Ness is a 33 life path. And it's like discerning and bright. And Clarence is bright. I mean, he's educated, he's bright. But it's a definite light side, shadow side thing with 33s, because you add and you don't reduce a 33, but it has a 6 energy, the 3 energy and the 6 energy. And all of those are creative control. 6s can be a bit controlling, and that they know more than they're better at stuff than other people, kind of thing. That's a shadow side. I'm not saying if you're a 6 life path and here, you're fine. But I'm going to throw on that real quick.
So I understand that the Senate has requested the Justice Department to set up a special counsel to investigate him.
Yeah. Well,
I don't
he
think
do
it's
that?
I think that he's going to be toast toward following a similar track to Trump after November, when Pluto starts going direct again.
What date was that? December, you said, or September?
End of November.
November, December. Yeah, okay. So this is interesting. So I just said he will never walk away, but I do believe he's going to either walk away from his commitment to his position, or I don't think it's walking away from his department, his job. But I do 1 month increments, and this is July, middle of July. So then it goes to the middle of August and the middle of September. And I've got the Eight of Cups at that point. That the journey isn't over then. Oh, so let me show you the Eight of Cups walking away from something that doesn't serve you any longer, right? That's and this timing thing can change, but so he does that. And will he walk away from the right thing is the question. And the next card answers that. And it's the Eight of Swords. He's locked up. He will not move. Now, this person is voluntarily locked in a position. Voluntarily. The reason they're not moving out of that hardship is because there's something they're getting inside that hardship. There's something that's feeding them. This is classic if people are doing cards, like regular tarot readings. This is classic, and it's not. I've said it before of the lady, a lady that will not leave a relationship, even though it's terrible inside, because she may not be able to afford it. So there's plenty of options for her. She can go to a friend. She can start working, planning to all that stuff. But because it's convenient and prosperous at this, then she's going to take a lot of crap. But this is what he's going to do. He's just going to hold his position strong, but he's going to walk away from something. And I don't know if it's going to be if he's finally going to recuse himself or consider it. I don't know, but he's in a one personal year. So just like Trump. So I think is it Trump or two? Can't remember right this second. Which means, yeah, it's pretty cool. Now we're almost done with the show. We started with our own energies coming out, and then we got to talking about the old white men telling us what to do again. And we're different now. So there is so you answered this one with McGrill. She was asking about Monday the 15th.
Explosive.
Wow. Okay. What's today? Oh, it's a week from now. Okay.
No, not a week. Monday. Today's 12. The Republican convention starts on Monday.
Oh, I read the 17th because I have it written down that I shouldn't travel between the 14th and the 17th. Now, I don't know where I heard that. It might have been for here.
That's that Mars-Uranus energy is dangerous energy.
Okay, yeah. So then I heard it from you, and I marked my calendar.
Traveling is there are risks. It doesn't mean that I just surround myself with protection, and I just keep my eyes out for crazy people, and
they're there.
You know where they are. You put your feelers out, say, "Oh, I'm gonna stay away from that guy," and just like that.
Right. Right. I get it. Marby.
You don't have to hide, but just be smart and don't let yourself fall in any traps. Keep your energy level high so that you are protected.
Yeah.
You're full of goodness and grace. And
that's me all day. That's me all day.
Giving thanks. You get a green light. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
That green light.
I know what you mean.
I appreciate this beautiful moon.
Oh, wait. Mari asked, what's about the rest of July? Is there anything popping up after?
This Mars-Uranus thing will be around for a little while, and it's it's one of the dominant things of the entire year. So it's going to be around for, we've been feeling it for a week. We're going to feel it another couple of weeks. And so it's exact on Monday and Tuesday, but then it will be phasing out for the convention. Yeah. Remember when they first announced the date of the convention, I said, I looked it up. It's going to be a shit show and a dumpster fire.
I love it when you curse.
I mean, how else are you going to describe that? Mercury is square. The
Dumpster
moon is in
fire.
Scorpio. It's a big power struggle with all kinds of hate and vengeance and vile things. It's just ugly,
And then
ugly,
what's
ugly.
that day? What's that day?
Monday.
It is Monday. Oh gosh.
Monday. Yeah, it's this Monday, and we're easing into it right now.
Aha.
The moon and Mercury have not. So on Monday, it's going to be. This is today. So the
Oh,
moon hasn't moved over to the square position. The moon is not in its place where it's going to be on the day of the convention. Moon will be over here completing the T square. Mercury will be exact in this corner. So it's forming this T square with the Mars and Uranus together with Mercury in Leo. So all kinds of boisterous ego come talking, chest thumping, and the moon in Scorpio, underhanded, like mafia type power struggles. And that is the nature of the day on Monday and Tuesday.
oh.
It's
Can I
really,
ask a
really
question?
intense with the star Algol. Yes,
Oh.
there,
Can you
there.
put can you put the other one up for a second?
This,
Now,
this is, this is Monday.
oh, that's Monday.
This is their in convention, yeah. Where you can see it all, everything happening on Monday. And the star Algol, which is the most malefic star in the universe, is right there exactly with the Mars and Uranus conjunction. It's just like it's a triple whammy.
Wow. Can you
Evil.
put the other one up? The other
Today,
the
today.
today's,
Mhm.
because you're talking about something. Now I'm a novice.
Okay. This is today.
No, yeah, that was it. Okay, so you said a T square,
It's
and
this little
I
red thing
see a
that I made.
trine. I see a trine.
No, it's a right triangle. It's a triangle with square degrees is what you're seeing. It's
Oh, square. I
not
don't know
a
about the
yes.
degrees.
So see, so a trine means 120 degrees.
I thought that was. I thought that was
These
good
are 90
luck.
degrees. A trine is good luck, but these are square degrees. This is a T square.
See.
All the degrees are 90. 90 from 90 degrees from this point, which will be the moon, to Mercury, 90 degrees from Mercury to Mars and Uranus, and 180 degrees across. That's called a T square. So it's
Oh,
part of a square. The one part is missing over here to make a complete grand square. So it's three sides of a square. The angles are 90 degrees. It's all fixed signs. When you go to the fixed signs, you're 90 degrees apart.
well,
Scorpio and Leo are 90 degrees apart. Leo and Taurus are 90 degrees, and Taurus and Scorpio are 180.
so what I need to do is stand in that Aquarius house with a flare to make it a grand square.
Yeah.
I'll do that. Oh my
So
gosh.
this is really dynamically. I mean, it's got so many things that it's just showing a really negative thing. That I mean, it's the energy. Like maybe you say it can't be negative. It's not energy in itself. In itself, but we know that the Republican convention is going to be all about people with the ginormous egos who want personal power. They're not striving for the common good. We know they want personal power, and they want to take over the government and destroy it. So,
Mhm.
given that context, it's something that is going to be really, really sad.
Oh, get your popcorn out.
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm going to try and forgive. I promise to try. So,
We have to make our light grow, as you
yes,
say, Deborah. Grow your light is your
that's
channel.
right.
That is our job, because we can't be buried in a pit of despair, fear, and anger. We have to be the force opposing that.
And then, yes, we have
The
righteousness
light
because
of righteousness.
I remember Jesus in the marketplace, and that's the sort of where I'm at.
That's it. That's it. Exactly. Jesus in the marketplace. We will turn those tables over. He was in
Mhm.
the temple, actually, where they had set up the tables. They had the money changers had set up in the temple, and that's why
Oh,
he was so
that's
pissed off.
ridiculous. Yeah, I
Yeah.
could see that.
So he said, "Not here." And
Uh-uh.
so we know that the monster ego, so we have Leo, Scorpio, the mafia type monster. Leo is like the Mussolini type chest thumping image. This is what it's going to be about. And so it's not JFK or Martin Luther King or people who are aspiring toward, or Joe Biden, who are aspiring toward humanitarian goals. It's a one or the other balance.
Mhm.
And we know we are not sunshine soldiers, and
Right.
we're fighting. We want our country for the people. We the people, not we the oligarchs, we the king. No, we the people.
I think the ladies of America,
The ladies are going to win it. The women
yeah,
are going to win it with the
get your
women's
lipstick
fight.
on, and we're going to clean up.
Yes, so
Clean up.
keep your spirits up, because it is all moving in the right direction. Don't be discouraged. Don't be fearful. Just keep St. Francis' prayer in your heart. If there's something you are not able to change, don't let that bother you. You work
Yes,
what you can do. And there are many
exactly.
things you can do, and you can volunteer, you can contribute money, you can write letters, you can do phone banks, you can talk to your neighbor, you can drive people to the polls, you can talk to people, you can communicate with those people who can still talk normally, and say, well, how would you feel about this? Would you feel, how would you feel if your husband said something about grabbing women by the privates? How would you feel about that? Does he do that? Does he say that? Or
Gosh, you're so much better than me. I can't have a conversation like that. I say idiot and walk away. I know it's not spiritual, but I'm being real here. I love that you can do that, but I'm representing the people who find it hard to do that. And I'm starting a little club. It'll be my club. The idiot, calling him idiot club. I adore you. I learned so much from you. And for everybody who comes in, again, another razzle.
keep the love in your heart. Be full of gratitude.
Yes.
Look at your pet kitty, your pet birdie. Go out in nature. Keep your feet on the ground. Do grounding, gratitude, and love in your heart, and move forward. Because we're not sunshine soldiers. We are
Nope.
we're
That's
the
right.
torch bearers to bring the light to establish our country. But like in the Statue of Liberty, carrying up the torch.
That's right. That's
That's
us.
us. That's us.
Oh my goodness. We will be back next week with uh, or maybe I'll grab
We
you
can
and
we
do
can
a
review the
midweek
shit show. The shit show uh, uh, critique of
critique the
the.
shit show, dumpster fire critique. Yeah, join us then. I adore everyone here. Thank you so much for
Love
coming
you all.
in, and thumbs up and all that stuff. You guys are the greatest, and we'll see you next week.
Love you. Thank you.